Hey Sugar Geeks, today I'm gonna show you how to make a rose cake. Not that kind of rose, a rose flavored cake recipe with bonus pressed flour tutorial. It's coming up next on the Sugar Geek Show. So the first thing we wanna do is prepare some rose petals. And for this, I'm going to invite my special assistant, Avalon. Say hi.
Hi. We need a plate and a paper towel.
Okay, and then what?
We pick the petals off and we put them on the paper towel.
Okay. If you're going to use rose petals locally, make sure you're buying them from like an organic store because you don't want any roses with pesticides on them. Or you can buy your rose petals online or get rose petal tea, anything like that. We place this one on top.
Yep. And then we put it in the microwave for 1 minute.
Fun fact, the more vibrant colored your roses are, the stronger the flavor. Okay. All right, let's take a look at them, see if they're dried. Yeah, crunchy. Wasn't that easy?
And that's how you make dried rose petals. Whee!
Bye, Avalon, thanks. Bye. All right, so next let's go ahead and make our rose flavored cake batter. This is based off of my white velvet cake recipe, so it's a nice, tender, moist recipe. It uses the reverse creaming method, so we're gonna add our flour, 14 ounces, into the bowl of our stand mixer, and then our sugar, 13 ounces, and then our salt, 1 teaspoon, and then our baking powder, 1 tablespoon, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then we're gonna add in our unsalted butter that is nicely softened, but not melted, 6 ounces. I'm gonna set that aside for a moment. I'm gonna divide my sour cream in half, place half of it in another container, about 5 ounces, and then I'm gonna put the oil with this and give it a little mix. Just wanna break that sour cream up. If you don't have sour cream, you can use yogurt, you can use buttermilk, or you can check out my buttermilk substitute blog post. 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon rose water. Make sure you don't use too much rose water or it's gonna taste like perfume. Maybe start with half of a teaspoon, taste it, see how you like the flavor, and then you can always add more if you want. I really like this brand of rose water from Nielsen and Massey. I actually like all of their extract flavors. I think they're just like really good quality. Or you can just get pure rose water from like a Middle Eastern store near you, or you can order it online, of course. There is a slight difference in the way that these flavors linger on your tongue after you use them, but you can basically exchange them 1-to-1. So now I'm gonna put the remaining amount of sour cream into the 5 ounces of egg whites and just give that a mix. It's really important that all of your ingredients are room temperature so that your cake mixes together, creates that delicious emulsion, and you get a beautiful crumb. I like to microwave my sour cream a little bit so that's actually kind of on the warm side. All right, so now we're going to mix this on low speed until our butter and our dry ingredients come together and looks like sand. All right, so when it looks like this kind of sandy texture, we're ready to move on to the next step. So now we're going to take our oil and sour cream mixture and pour it into here and mix for 2 full minutes to develop the cake structure. Please do not be afraid to fully mix for 2 minutes, it's important. I'm gonna mix this on speed 4 on my KitchenAid or speed 1 on your Bosch. All right, when it looks nice and white and fluffy like this, it's ready to go to the next step. I'm gonna scrape the bowl, just make sure everything's well incorporated. Now I'm gonna start drizzling in the egg white and sour cream mixture, and we're gonna mix for probably like another minute or so. You just don't wanna add it in too fast, or it'll make your batter curdle and then it won't rise properly. Scraping, and then we're gonna add in our crushed rose petals. Now if you wanted your cake to be pink, you could add in a little bit of pink food coloring, but I like the cake to be white with the little pink specks and then the raspberry filling in between. Now we can put these into our 3 6-inch pans and bake them up. I'm just coating my pans in some cake goop, which is my favorite homemade pan release. You can get the recipe on sugargeekshow.com. I'm just gonna divide the batter evenly. Just for fun, I like to weigh my cakes to see how accurate I am. Make sure they're all the same weight. It also makes for nice even layers. All right, we're gonna place our cake pans in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. And if you're wondering if these make cupcakes, they do. You don't have to change the batter at all, and they bake up beautifully. Once your cakes are done baking, you can give a little test in the center, make sure it's fully baked, then take them out and let them cool in the pan for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we're gonna flip them out onto a cooling rack, and you can let them cool for a little bit longer, but I like to wrap them in plastic wrap and immediately put them into the freezer so that they have time to cool down quicker and I can immediately start frosting them. After about an hour, your cakes should be cold enough to start trimming and frosting. All right, let's make our raspberry filling. First, we're going to combine the water and our clear gel, or you can use cornstarch. So now we're going to place our raspberries into the pot. You can use fresh or frozen. Raspberries really complement the flavor of the rose. And we're gonna add in our sugar. And then we're gonna bring that to a medium heat. Other flavors that go really well with rose cake are like pistachio, strawberry. It's a very complementary flavor. Tell me down in the comments what flavor you think would go best with rose. Pistachio, raspberry, or strawberry. All right, so now I'm gonna add in my clear gel mixture, and this is gonna thicken it up. And you wanna cook that for 1 minute after it starts bubbling. All right, that looks about good. Now we're going to add in our lemon zest and a little squeeze of lemon juice. And mix that up and it's ready to go. Now I don't always remove the seeds from my raspberry filling, but in this particular case, I want to because I just want a really nice clean raspberry layer. So I'm just gonna strain this through a sieve into a bowl. And now we're just gonna set this aside to cool down. You can make this well ahead and just keep it in the fridge if you want to. You can freeze it if you have leftovers. It's very forgiving. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add our raspberry puree to our easy buttercream. I did not show you how to make this because that's just too much steps for one video. You can use any kind of buttercream. I really like my easy buttercream. Recipe's right there. So I just wanna add a little bit of color. So I'm just gonna start with one big heaping spoon and then mix that and see where we're at. So now I'm gonna add maybe a 1/4 cup to a bowl and do a couple of good hefty scoops of buttercream. And this is gonna be the filling in the center, which I want to be a little bit more raspberry flavored because it's just gonna look pretty. Do you have to do this? No. Am I extra and I'm gonna do it anyway? Yes. I just need to save just enough to put a thin layer over the top of my cake. The rest can go into your buttercream. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and trim my cakes by cutting the dome off first. Chilled cakes work much better for trimming. That looks beautiful. You don't have to trim off the brown parts, but I just think it makes for a prettier slice. All right, we're gonna place our first layer of a cake onto the cardboard round and add a little bit of our delicious raspberry. It's gonna add some beautiful color and some flavor. And some of our raspberry buttercream. By some, I mean a lot. And just continue layering up your buttercream and your raspberry filling until you've done all the layers. Now we're going to spread this buttercream all over all the layers to do our crumb coat and then pop it in the fridge. And while it's chilling, I'm gonna show you guys how to make pressed flowers in 1 minute. I bet you can guess how we're gonna do it. It's the microwave. Okay, so to make our pressed flowers for our cake, you need to start with a plate, just like we did the last time, and lay down your paper towel. And this time, we wanna kind of spread the petals out a little bit. This is just a little mini pink rose that I had. I also pressed some camellias, which I'm gonna use on the final cake, and they look really pretty. So open that up a little bit. We can also do a couple of buds, like on the side. And then you want to place your paper towel on top, and then you want to take another plate and press it on top. And then we're gonna put these in the microwave for 1 minute. All right, let's give a look. There's gonna be a lot of moisture in the paper towel because all of the moisture leaves the roses. And there we go. If you notice that they're still really wet, you can go for another 30 seconds, but this is perfect. So these are all the different flowers that I pressed for our cake. They're so cute. This one's a little bit softer, so it can wrap around the cake more, or you can go drier, and it's a little bit more firm. But we did these like a week ago. They're still beautiful and pink and gorgeous. Love the little buds. And then I'm also gonna do some leaves as well. Just so you guys know, if you try to do this technique with white flowers, they are going to kind of bruise and get brown. So if you need to use white flowers, I would suggest doing the traditional book pressing method, which takes a longer time, but has better color results. If you don't want to do the fresh flowers, you can make another half batch of buttercream and do some beautiful rosettes along the side of your cake. I'm using a 1M piping tip and I'm filling in gaps with a small dot. This will look so pretty and it fits the rose theme really well. Okay, so let's go ahead and place our final layer of buttercream onto the cake and add our flowers. And then smooth. Look how beautiful that pink is. Looks so nice. I am obsessed. When I was making this rose cake, I was definitely thinking Mother's Day, but this would be a really great cake for like a bridal shower, an engagement party, someone's birthday, especially if your name is Rose, Valentine's Day. I mean, what girl wouldn't want a bouquet of roses, but also cake? After I put the buttercream on, I kind of smooth it out with my offset spatula just to get it sort of evenly on there. And then I'm going to use my bench scraper to flatten out the sides. I like to use this bench scraper that I got on Amazon. It has like this rounded part right here, and it allows me to put it directly on top of the turntable so that I don't accidentally go like this, because that can cause your cake to be crooked. So holding it straight up and down makes your cake straight up and down. I'm just cleaning up the edges. All right, so now I'm gonna start applying my dried flowers and leaves to the cake. You don't have to use anything to attach the flowers as long as your buttercream is still soft. I'm using some of my dried petals to kind of fill in any of the blank spaces. Lots of flowers will work for this type of cake. I will put a link to my friend Shanie's edible flower guide. It's a really great guide that tells you all flowers that are edible, so you're not like, poisoning your guests, because that's frowned upon. I like to keep my cake in the fridge until the day that I need to deliver it. I keep it chilled so it delivers really easily, and then just take it out. It will taste better if it is at room temperature for at least a couple hours so that buttercream has a chance to soften. I would probably remove the flowers before slicing them, but it's not necessary. Roses are edible. Immediately, yes. Oh, it's so good. If you liked this video, don't forget to check out this video on my white velvet cake, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.